What's up guys, this is Ed for me, another new experience, the 2014 Dodge Viper GTS. This car is super rare. I rarely ever even see it. Huge thanks to Jason for letting me do a video on his car. With the V10 engine, this thing redlines at 6,200 RPM and it doesn't need anything more than that. It just has loads and loads of torque as expected. Throttle's not very sensitive. I thought that this thing would be impossible to tame, but it really handles the power very well. Clutch engagement's very good on this car, so it's definitely an easier car to drive than most people would think with the amount of power that it has. One thing I gotta say, that driving this thing in parking lot, the steering is very, very heavy. I'm not sure if there's power steering in this car, but I really do like the shifter. It's a really big ball and it's very, very notchy. It feels like a gated shifter, and so you know exactly which gear you're in at all times. So I've just been informed that this car actually does have power steering. So even with power steering, the steering is just very, very heavy. The car is actually not that heavy though. It's only about 3,300 pounds apparently. It has the carbon fiber hood as well as the carbon fiber trunk. And the gearing on this car is very, very long. In first gear, when you let off the clutch, you're already moving 7 to 8 miles per hour. In first gear, this car can already reach 60 miles per hour, which is just crazy. Putting the power down, of course, is pretty much impossible in first gear. Ooh, broke loose. It has a lot of convenience features, such as telling you the tire pressures in all 4 wheels. It's got automatic headlights. It's got a very nice stereo system. It's even got a Harman Kardon system. Maybe the older Dodge Vipers were kind of hard to live with on a daily basis, but this is definitely something you can daily drive around and use. So this car retails for 121 grand. Chrysler decided to give $15,000 off from the original MSRP of 136,000. So at 121 grand with the GTS model, it's not a cheap car, but it's definitely one of the rarest. This is the epitome of American muscle. It really is. And you know, the shape of the car doesn't really remind you of American muscle, but then again, a lot of American cars are changing their design so they look a lot more European than they used to.
Was the Viper gone?
It was gone from 10 to 13. Okay, yeah.
This car has 6 gears, but the reverse is actually up and to the right, which is the first time I've actually seen the reverse being placed in that spot. Oh man, this thing is quick! Handling, as expected, really, really planted. This car's not uncomfortable either. It's actually pretty comfy. The seats are really nice. The visibility in this car is not that great, but I think you can get used to this. It's definitely a daily drivable car. The car stays planted. It does have a little bit of body roll, but it was definitely made to go in a straight line rather than taking turns. All right, let's see a third gear pull. Wow. Yep, this is easily the most powerful car I've ever driven, easily the fastest car I've ever driven, and easily the most rare car I've ever driven. All right, here we go. Wow, this thing is so fast. Oh my goodness. Woo! What an adrenaline rush. Having the exhaust outlets right to your sides makes this car so much more dramatic than most cars. On a day like today, luckily we were able to put the power down, but I think if there was any sort of gravel in the road, or if there was any sort of moisture, it would just be impossible to lay the power down. Even in like third gear, when you're really on it in the high RPMs, this thing breaks loose. You gotta be really careful in a car like this. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. As always, if you like my videos, please subscribe to them. And I'll see you guys next time for the next episode of Behind the Wheel.